needs a zero.
We make everything look good, including being overweight. So, scientifically, you cannot drink alkaline water and it makes your cells alkalytic.
The closer you are to nature, the healthier you'll be.
Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. I am Carolyn, and you are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Hello, hello. I see you already. Allison Gentle saying good morning. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. We so much appreciate it. Please make sure to go ahead and share the live so others can be a part of the conversation. We have a great one as always. Signs you're getting sick. It's that time of the year, so we want to make sure we know the signs. Is your house bacteria free? These are some topics that we'll be talking about. Also, why you should know about airborne foodborne situations. Whew, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? But I got through it. So please, again, go ahead and share the live. We are live streaming on Facebook. We're on YouTube, and we are on Instagram. Dr. Zarif, go ahead and join me. Join me here so we can get started. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
All right. Good morning. Good morning, Kara. It's good to be here this morning, ready to get on with the show.
Yes, yes.
We have a lot of things, as you were saying, that are very instrumental in keeping you in touch with or allowing you to manage your situations of illness and the prevention of those illnesses. So we're really glad that you're going to be here to check us out. Stick around because we have some really great information. We'd also like you to share. We want to really build this up so that we'll have you prepared for what's to come. The so-called cold season. Well, it doesn't have to be as bad as you think it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I appreciate that because just talking about the cold season, I know that would you say there is such a thing or no?
Yeah, there's a season definitely. The weather does change from hot days to cooler days and nights. So yes, and then some people for um, many reasons. One is just they get in the habit of wearing just a few threads, and then it gets a little colder. They don't adjust with that. I think that happens like in life in general. When life continues and it changes, and if you're not ready for the change, you'll be left behind. And
Yes.
usually, that's what this is about. Knowing that change is the same thing that's been happening every year of our lives, except some other the political stuff maybe, but the things that's really beautiful. The What is really beautiful is that we get a chance to sit down and talk about it and break down some things that we've been hearing for the longest and helping people to understand uh, how the body functions, how you can help yourself, how you can also use your knowledge to get rid of some of that fear. Those people that are on the fear based diet, you
Right.
know. Yeah, so if you think you're on a plant-based diet, but you're scared of everything, you're on a fear-based diet. So let's get into it. Before I get into it, we're going to go to Kara so she can say hello to a few beautiful people.
Ah, yes, absolutely. Thank you. Did you see me looking over? Sherry G. Hello, hello. Sherry G. Smart, to be exact. Good morning. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Andre Brown, good morning. Saying good morning, big brother.
Whoa, little brother. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining. So
Yeah.
please make sure to go ahead and share the live. If you are on YouTube, please give us the thumbs up, the actual little thumb that's down at the bottom. Make it blink and have a thumbs up there. Those are the things that we ask for. That's how social media works. That's how YouTube works. It wants to know that we are receiving likes so they can send more people over. go ahead and give us the thumbs up. Those are just the things that we want. Also on Facebook, same thing, thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. Thank you. Dr. Zarif, back to you.
And thank you, Nurse Shirley Lee, for being here. Really love it when you're on and your contribution. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and say hello over here to I Love You, Michelle, in the house this morning. And we have the Quizin Zen. Wow. Okay, we have you here. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning again. I love Michelle. Uh, thank you very much for being here. Uh, and then we have Fearless MD. You know who that is. That's Dr. James. Thank you, Dr. James. He has some things coming up, so make sure you check out your Dr. James so that you can find out more information and fill up your add that to your calendar. We had Ad Warrior for Christ is here in the house. Definitely very happy to have you here, and we have a few other people are just getting in here, and thank you very very much as you show up. I want to first of all talk about some of the signs that you're getting when you're sick. And please, those that are on now, doctors and activists, please put your comments there. Those again, remember in the comment section. If you're interested in coming onto our show, you just simply go to drzarif.com and you just follow the prompts so that we can get you on the show. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, so we'll start off with as far as some of the whole idea is if you could do something about your sickness, would you do anything about it? You know about it, so what are you going to do about it? You could be sick, but how would you even know? Because you're not getting any extra, you're not getting any examination. So let's first of all see if you can commit to, take out your calendar if you haven't done this yet and make notes through the calendar to don't get out of this month, which we're in November now, without setting some appointment. We're going into the 2026, and it doesn't make sense to be sick. Why be sick when you don't have to be sick? So some of the signs of getting sick. Let's start off with coughing. Now, coughing is your body's natural way of responding to something that irritates your throat or your airways. Now, this irritant, it actually stimulates the nerves and your brain's immediate response to tell you or you tell your chest or you're sending messages to your abdomen muscles to contract and to push air out of your lungs. An occasional cough is completely normal. That's just to actually just keep the things like dust out of your nose or perhaps in your mouth. However, persistent cough, on and on. Well, that sometimes that can be a sign of illness or illness to come. But it's important to pay attention to what's happening with your body because you may be able to avoid it or to at least abbreviate an oncoming cough or cold. Now, a persistent cough is just simply a common sign of a minor or major illness. It's a sign. Is you're just not coughing for nothing. So this is good to know. And when coughing actually became the should I say, one of the things that showed up in the COVID, the sickness. I'm still on the fence with that. So you got to forgive me for that. It's just so much BS sometimes that you can't, get to the real truth about things. I don't want to go too deep in that, but I want you to know that the only sickness that you have to look for, especially like in your cold, your flu, your sinusitis, and then you have also lung infections. All of these things can be brought to your attention by the persistence of a cough on and on. So just know that something is happening. Again, a cold, flu, sinusitis, and lung infection. Now, if you have a cough, just take a hot shower, or you can also drink plenty of fluids. You can definitely get rest, and not just closing your eyes, but really get into some deep sleep. And this will help you to repair. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the immune system as we go along. But if the cough doesn't go away in 2 weeks, you got to go into the doctor's office, call your PCP, get your medical team together, because that's what they're there for. Okay. Now, as I was going over this with you about the cough, then you also remember sometimes you can even cough mucus up from your lungs. Mucus is something that you've probably heard different stories about. I know I saw a commercial, or I saw an activist say that, mucus, what's making you sick? Mucus. You know what'll kill you? Mucus. And I think just finding out more information about mucus will give you a little more ease with it, because mucus is that all of us have it. Yeah, that's mucus, also called phlegm. And we'll get into it as we go along. I want you to use your imagination, because this is something that I don't want necessarily you or anybody else going through something that you can prevent for yourself. So again, mucus is just a slippery fluid that lines the respiratory, the digestive, the urinary, and reproductive tracts. It acts like a shield, and it acts like a shield because it's actually keeping out, or it's attempting to keep out, some of the harmful germs. Now, those germs, you've heard us say pathogens, and pathogens, the same thing. So this is another word for germs. Now, while letting in these things from your body, like oxygen and nutrients, that's really important. That's why we eat certain foods. That's why we exercise. That's why we get the rest, so that we can manage, even if we can't, cure it, but we can definitely manage a lot of the pathogens while letting in the things that our bodies need. And we definitely need oxygen, and we definitely need the nutrients. Now, you might know that the name of mucus, again, by the name of snot. Remember when you're a little boy, little girl, yes, a snot coming out his nose. Well, phlegm is another word for mucus, and sputum. You will hear these words, and they all mean basically the same thing. Sometimes you can get real technical with them, and some doctors may use them interchangeably, but nevertheless, they are the same thing. So let's go on. And you probably only think about all of this snot and the phlegm and the sputum only when you're trying to get rid of it. It's after the fact, and that's what we want to keep you away from. Be proactive. Like when when you go too far, when there's far too much of the mucus dripping from your nose. When a person has a runny nose. A lot of children have runny noses because their body is getting used to fighting against the different germs, the bacteria, the pathogens, and their body is building up so it can be able to fight. But the mucus is a very important part of the immune system that constantly is putting itself in harm's way to keep you safe. So, is it bad? Would it hurt you? What does it actually do? Again, I'm standing on this mucus a little longer because I am tired of hearing the same stuff over and over about, mucus going to kill me. I just got to get rid of all the mucus in your body. If you didn't have mucus in your body, you're going to have one of your toughest fighters against, or one of the toughest components in your immune system that fights against disease. So that doesn't make sense. So mucus has a lot of important jobs. So let's look at some of them. Blocking the germs and harmful particles from getting into the body's tissues. Then you have housing the antibodies to disable and mark germs from destruction by immune cells. There's another way that you can also tell what the mucus does by it also traps things that could harm you. These are like dangerous things that could harm you, make you very ill, and moving them out of your body. And that's really important. So blowing your nose, coughing, and you have sputum or you have mucus in your mouth, you want to get rid of that. And you don't want to feel that any part of your body is something that will, harm you. You got to know there are parts that of the body that have certain functions, and all of these functions is to, of course, keep you alive, keep you well. But you must have a hand in it by doing everything that you can to stay as healthy as you can. Lubricating your mucous membranes. Well, this helps to it just helps the different parts of your body perform different functions. For instance, it helps the food to move through your digestive tract and provides a way for sperm to get to an egg for fertilization in your reproductive tract. And that's that's cervical mucus. Antibodies, I mentioned that so you can understand what I'm saying. What is an antibody or antibodies? Well, the antibody are protective proteins that they're produced by the immune system. They're protective proteins that are produced by your immune system. They attach to antigens. And antigens is easy. The antibodies are protective proteins, and the antigens, they are actually foreign substances such as bacteria, fungi, viruses, toxins, and the mucus actually help to remove them from the body. Okay. Now, we've been talking about the immune system. So now what does that mean? And once you put all this together, it makes more sense. Your immune system is the body's first line of defense against invaders like germs. It helps to protect you from getting sick and promotes healing when when you're unwell or you're injured. Now you may or you can strengthen your immune system by eating nutritious foods, exercising, and getting enough sleep. I'll say that over and over because some people just don't believe that that could be true. They feel that they got to take something in order for their body to resume a natural or a stronger support and balance. Now, again, your immune system, I guess, in addition, I guess I could say that the immune system is a large network of organs. And these organs include like your white blood cells, your proteins, and your chemicals. And these are just part of these parts. They all work together to protect you from the germs and other invaders. When we have plenty of invaders, they're airborne all around us. We can't even see them. And this is why you constantly hear me say, you know what, wearing a mask every once in a while, especially if you're around large crowds, instead of wanting to be cool or in style or in the in crowd or whatever it is, it's good to put that mask up on you to just help to reduce the inhalation of an aerosol. When a person just breathes out or sneezing or coughing in their hands and then shaking hands with that same, those are some of the things that are easily looked over. So when talking about the white blood cells, these cells actually circulate through your bloodstream and tissues to actually respond to an injury or illness by attacking any unknown organisms that enter your body. So white blood cells, phagocytes, or they just keep in mind white blood cells. Very, very important. I'll go on just to say that another, some of the things that we can add to that list would be sore throat. Now, sore throat, especially a sore, dry, and scratchy throat, isn't just painful. It's also a common sign of sickness, and it is a also a sign that may come in. You might recognize it as a common cold or a strep throat, tonsillitis. Also allergies. Allergies, that's really big because a lot of people have allergies for years, and until they manage their sore throat or their whatever is causing that allergic reaction, is pretty inconvenient for them constantly. Now, here are just some of the, the healthy sinus is, you see there's not over on the sinusitis. What you have is inflammation. You have the frontal sinus cavities up here. They're inflamed, and this is the inflamed sinus lining. And if you look right down by the nose on the side, that cavity there is where we carry excess mucus and sinus infections. So this is why a lot of people, when they sneeze, they take their nose and they wiggle it, and some take their hand and they'll wipe up the nose, and all of this sometimes is to give relief to the buildup of the scratchy feeling or the uncomfortable, feels like something is always in your nose, or there's something agonizing or irritating your frontal sinus cavities, along with your eyes are watery, all of these things. So that's a part of this different uh, areas on your face, as you see here. And you don't have to remember the name of them to know that that's something that is happening in your behind all of those facial nerves, and the structure of your face. All of those things may have also some kind of indication that your mucus is, you have too much of it. Remember, we need it, but if you overdo it, it's very easy to see why you should take care of yourself as much as possible, because it does happen all the time. Sometimes it just shows up in a runny nose, and when your mucus is dripping from your nose, it's called a runny nose. It's just that's what a lot of people have. You hear people also sucking it back in to their throat and then swallowing it, and you can spend a lot of time outdoors like a lot of people do, but there are a lot of times they're underdressed, or might go outside with your hair is wet, and these symptoms or allergies, they can be the same ones that you'll have when you have a cold or a flu. So sometimes that's why a doctor is so important, so you can get in there, get those examinations, and find out exactly. You have a better chance. It's not guaranteed, but you have a much higher chance in finding out exactly what you're dealing with than you do if you just take it on yourself and self-medicate. Okay, when a virus or bacteria enters your body, it can irritate the lining of your nose and the sinuses. The result is that your nose starts producing a lot of mucus to help flush out the virus and the bacteria. That's why you start to increase that runny nose, is just giving you a sign that there's something that is in your body that needs to come out. Like sneezing, a runny nose is likely the sign of getting sick also, and it happens with other common symptoms. Now, if you have a bothersome runny nose, you should drink lots of water. There's different types of teas, almost all of them that you can drink, especially when you drink mint teas and you have your teas like golden seal root, echinacea, myrrh. All of these are very good when it comes to. We'll go over more with some of the herbs later, but they've been around for a very long time. And check with your doctor. Ask the doctors want to tell you things if they're aware of it, and if they're not, they can refer you to someone that does. Sometimes your skin can also get irritated from wiping your nose. If you wipe it too much, you get that irritation or that ring, that black ring right at the top of your nose. And then people that are always washing too hard in that area, you can see the dryness in their skin right up under their eyes. That's what people that have allergy, and it's something that they don't moisturize it. They don't stroke it with gentle strokes, and they can increase some of the activity up there when they're sneezing or have a runny nose. Okay, I'm going to do just a few more seconds here, but I just want to. The other things that you can look out for is a low grade fever, headache is another one. Congestion when you are stuffy, the infections such as the sinus problems when you are having swelling or inflammation. And it can be common colds, nasal congestion. All of these are usually the first signs that you got a cough coming on. And stuffy nose, that's another thing I didn't. Stuffy nose, that can be have a lot to do with your temperature. Like temperature control in your house. Some of us are fortunate enough to have that, but if you don't, it's good to have your good ventilation where the air is moving, a fan on where it's circulating the air, and this helps you tremendously with managing some of those symptoms. And lastly, fatigue. And fatigue, this is when your body is fighting an infection and it uses a whole lot of energy to do so. Now, this can mean that the fatigue or a decrease in stamina when you're sick. So when you're fatigued, I don't care how good you might be laughing or, seem like you're not bothered by anything, but fatigue can definitely interrupt your daily activity. Okay, I'm going to be back with Is Your House Bacteria Free right after care.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. Thank you so much for that information. Just want to give quick shout outs. Denise Kane, good morning. Good morning to you. How are you? Good to see you here. And see you, Darciel. Good morning to you. How are you? You changed your profile picture, but it's still a nice picture. Thank you so much for showing up. We appreciate you. So there is a question comment here from Denise Kane that says, I was diagnosed with a deviated septum years ago. It causes nosebleeds randomly. How do I take better care of this?
Okay. Well, that's one of the things that you can go to a specialist and they'll find out if there's any septum deviations or anything that is through the examination. They can find out if there's something that may be causing something else that can be causing your nosebleeds. So it's good to know exactly. That's the diagnosis is super important, so you know exactly what to do. And those specialists like ENT doctors, that's ears, nose, and throat doctors, they're very good at finding out things that are associated with bloody nose or might be problems with your ear or problems in the throat. So check that out first and see how that goes because, like I said, they deal with that on a daily basis, and they could give you some really good advice. Advice about that, so that you won't have bloody noses because it definitely isn't common. All right, so let's move on.
Yes, we can. Yes, let's move on.
Okay. So here, yeah, just keep your comments and remarks coming. As those, there might be some things that you'll ask me, and I'll refer you to this another specialist, because specialists, like when you deal with allergies, or specialists when you deal with the digestive system, or you have people that specialize in oncology, and not every, but there are specialties, and there's general practitioners also, but there's a lot of smart people out there that can help you with these situations. Before I go into the next subject, it just adding on to that is don't get to the point that you are so afraid to do anything. Don't let it petrify you. You have to have a choice, and I think that making the choice, making the decision to see your doctor is very important, because that doctor can help you in just a few minutes get a good idea of what's happening with your body. And I know that there's a lot of good reasons that you don't want to be bothered with a doctor sometimes, but let me tell you, there's a lot of good reasons that you should also.
Yes, I just wanted to add to that too, Dr. Zarif. It's always I always think it's a good move whenever you're asked a question that may not be in your specialty, and
Yeah,
it's great too for you to refer onto someone else that is more like specializes in that thing.
yeah.
Have some people sometimes that just want to be the know it all. They want to have an answer to everything, no matter if they've had experience in it or not. So I'm just saying, I appreciate you for doing that as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's what we should do. As medical professionals, or healthcare professionals, we're supposed to say, Dr. James can do that. I know a great doctor that's great in allergens, and he'll give you great advice, and blah blah blah.
Yep.
So that kind of thing, and we're supposed to do that. It's just like if you go to the groceries and you say you get a jar of mayo, and you'll say, "This has eggs in it. Can you give me something better than that?" That grocer should be able to say, "Oh yeah, we have that over in the produce section."
Hmm.
So it should be that easy. I know it sounds like I'm just ranting, but it's no. That's so. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we should also say that those of you that have any types of problems with your body, um, you can do. You can always get a second opinion. But if you're having such something that's happening that's causing your life to be turned upside down, you don't have to if you find out what to do. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. Let's go ahead and move on to more information here. I wanted to just go into this. Is your house bacteria free? That's really important, because bacteria and viruses, they can spread from person to person and from person to surface. That's cross contamination from the person to the surface. So in other words, like suppose you shook somebody's hand, or you held somebody's hand, and then from there, oh, I'll be back, I got to go to the bathroom, you touch the knob, and everything else, the counter, the handle on the toilet, and whatever else and then taking one of the towels, and using that towel is definitely not a good idea, as far as drying your hands off, and you are using the same towel as other people are using. So let's just be aware of those things. Learn where germs are most likely to be found in your house, and what you can do to reduce them. So there's a lot of sprays. There are other things that you can do as far as to avoid certain factors that can affect how long these germs can stick around. Like for instance, you have surface type. The surface type, such as the solid surfaces like counters and texture surfaces like furniture and clothes. You can have that type. Those type of germs stick around. And then you have living habits. These are some of the so-called long germs, such as regularly washing your clothes or disinfecting the surfaces. Um, I wanted to bring up, let me here get on here. You can also see, I don't want you to think that all germs, when people say germs, um, I'm looking more for people to think that usually, oh, they're bad. But as you see in this photo, this is clear or purified water, but the makeup of this purified water includes the germs that come with it. Okay. And I know that's hard to believe, but if you look at the germ world, you would find a lot of germs that, they're strange looking. It looks like something from outer space. But these germs are definitely something. There are some that you want to keep out of your body, and there are some germs that keeps your body healthy. That's why you've heard the terms good germs and bad germs. Okay. Our bodies are a balance of good germs, bad germs, a balance of those things that that function because of managing them a certain way. Then you have like lifestyle practices that really take a big part of it, such as washing your hands and bathing regularly. Now, some people do not take a bath. They have their reasons. I don't want to put my dirty body into a bath because I'll be sitting in dirt, soil, germs. But here's what you can do. I call it a pre-bath. When you're pre-bathing, what you do is simply take a shower first. Take a shower first. If you have a wand or one of those held hand sprinklers, you can take that faucet and you can clean yourself before sitting in the tub. The tub isn't there just for cleaning, it's also there so that you can relax yourself. It's also there so you can just slow everything down. And it's really a good practice to have, especially if you're lucky to have one of those really sweet baths, the ones that they make specially with our a certain shape, and I like things like that. It makes the house look good too. Okay, so let's go on a little more about the cleaning procedures, such as using bleach and alcohol versus regular cleaning supplies. And this, when you have things like your bleach and your alcohol and cleaning, using that to clean surfaces. Believe it or not, you have some things that are helpful and then some things that aren't, because if you're using chemicals that are sticking or been absorbed by your cutting board, just be aware of that, because many times you might think that it's clean. Some people just make it wet. They don't even clean it. They just make it wet and like shake it off and they go ahead. You can't see those harmful bacteria there. So keep that in mind. Um, I always talk about, just so you know what we're talking about right now, is your house bacteria free. One of the things that, or areas in your house that should be bacteria free should be your kitchen, according to the National Sanitation Foundation. And this is one of the areas where your food is stored or prepared. and you have more bacteria and fecal contamination than other places in your home. Now, you heard me say fecal contamination, and that's those people that eat, again, meat, chicken, fish, turkey, live animals, or they used to be alive. This can be really a contamination that you should be concerned with. You also can have that contamination on lettuces, on spinach, on and on, because the contamination can happen right in the soil, and then the hands touch the soil, and then that soil is on the hands, and then the hands touch the actual vegetable, and that's how we can some can get very contaminated. It's like more than 75% of dish sponges and rags, they actually have salmonella on the Salmonella E. coli fecal matter, compared with 9% of bathroom faucet handles. So in the kitchen, there's more bacteria in the kitchen than in the toilet or the water closet. Okay. Now, other kitchen items that need frequent cleaning include your cutting boards, your coffee maker, or your refrigerator, especially in those areas that contact with that make contact with uncooked or unwashed food, your kitchen sink and your countertops, um, and I'll give you a more some of the tips of keeping these spots clean instead of just alcohol and bleach. Okay, use disinfectant wipes on the faucet and refrigerator, the surfaces, and the countertops. You can actually use disinfectant wipes. Now, some people say, no, I don't want to use that because there's chemicals on the wipes. Yeah, a rinse is very important after you wash. Rinse is very important after you wash. Okay, heat some of the damp sponges in a microwave oven for about a minute. And what does that do? That kills the bacteria. You can soak the sponges in a quart of warm water with half a teaspoon of concentrated bleach. This is another way that you can kill bacteria. You can change dish towels for a few times a week. Don't use that same thing for 30, 40 days on and on. Come on now. Soak the sponges in about a quart of that warm water and have a half a teaspoon of concentrated bleach. This is another way. Change your dish towels a few times a week. They wash your hands before and after touching or handling food. And remember to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds before and after touching raw meat or unprepared food. Okay, that's a lot of things to keep in mind. Other things that you can keep in mind are the germs on the stay away from, or touching the different parts of the house. And that's just like your refrigerator handles, the bathroom light switches, your knobs, your handles, your microwave handles, all of these. You can clean these spots once a week with the disinfectants or disinfecting wipes. Using a new wipe about every for every spot is the best way, instead of reusing that same wipe for different things. Okay, so it can be another expense, but it's not too expensive, and it's definitely not worth you taking the chance of getting something that is worse. Okay, you gotta keep in mind, like your other things that you can be a part of infection, or another thing that you can keep in mind when it comes to the bacteria in your house would also be your makeup bag. For those, you know who you are. your makeup bag, like the nooks and the crannies and the bristles. They also make up your makeup applicators. What else is happening there? But you get it. The germs that live in your makeup applicators can cause skin and eye infections. Is you have some people have this little stinky bag, and it builds up all of these germs, and then they'll pat it right on their face. And those of you that are sharing your makeup instruments with other people, you're increasing the risk of taking on more germs. The bathroom is like your drain, your shower tub, your faucets, your floor area around the toilet, your bath towels, your toothbrushes. All of these things, don't get lazy and do nothing about it, because you can definitely find yourself fighting things like E. coli, uh, Staphylococcus aureus, uh, aureus, and then you have a lot of other one, Streptococcus. You can have many of these different types of bacteria, and they also are not only in the makeup bag, your bathroom, but also in your laundry. That wet laundry that's left in the machine, even for a short amount of time, can cause germs to flourish. So you got to get those out. I used to just say, no, it's all right. It's just, they're washed now, they're clean. But that the transfer your clean clothes to the dryer immediately after each wash. And if the clothes sit in the washer for more than 30 minutes, you may just want to run that cycle again, because you can build up the bacteria there. And that's not what we want. Okay, keep in mind the home office and the living room. Some of the is there multiple family members and house guests that often share remote controls, computer keyboards, your phones, your tablets. So we got to do something about that. Okay, this is really important, because these germs do spread along with pets. If you have pets, you can also bring germs and bacteria into your home, especially if they go outside. And some people don't even let their dogs walk, so that's not including you. But anyway, let's move on. Now, here's just some of the tips. You can wash your pet bowls daily with warm water, soapy water too. Rinse them well. You can soak their toys and their bowls in bleach once a week. You can clean the hard toys regularly with hot soapy water, and wash the soft toys monthly. There's personal items like your cell phones, your keys, your wallets, and money. Yeah, and money. Your lunch boxes, and the bottoms of your purses. Now, some viruses can also live on the surface for about 3 days, since these objects, they're made of plastic and metal. Most disinfecting wipes are effective against the bacteria and the viruses on electronics also. So, just start wipe your stuff. If you're going to touch it, see where your hands are, and be more cognizant of how that can affect you. Practicing good habits also helps. Some of the good habits, like if you cough or you sneeze into a tissue, or your elbow, the hollow of your elbow instead of your hand. That's a good, see a lot of people doing that now. And wear cotton or a linen mask over your face in the public. A cotton or a linen. Okay, some people have this stuff that is just, it matches up with their clothes and it looks good. It's something that looks more stylish. But remember, you want to use, to be more effective, cotton or linen. Okay. All right. We're going to go back up to Care and hear what she got for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Zari. Just want to, I'm always shouting those out that are supporting. So good morning, Shanizi. She's saying good morning, everyone. Good morning to you.
Woohoo!
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining. Sherry G Smart says vinegar and lemon are also good cleaners. I've heard.
Yeah, the acetic acid, you have like with the white vinegar, it's a good cleaner and it's also a great solvent. So that's acetic acid. And then you have the apple cider vinegar, which is tartaric acid. Acetic acid and the tartaric acid, they're two different types. And the one that has been proven to be safer and healthier for the body, of course, is apple cider vinegar. So, yeah, thank you for that.
Mm. Yes, and Dr. Zari, you mentioned earlier about just people touching the bathroom, the toilet, flush and things like that.
Yeah.
I have a couple of coworkers. I'm not going to throw anybody's name out there just in case they're watching. Hey, y'all. But but I know that they do not wash their hands. And it's like when they, like so I remember one time, one person he put his hand out to shake my hand, like, oh, all right, I was like, and I put my elbow, like, one of them kind of things,
Right.
you know. Um, so to me, it's kind of strange. It's kind of weird to me that even with the whole COVID, situation where we had all this different stuff going on and sanitizers and making sure you're doing what teaching people all over again how to wash their hands and things like that, that people still don't do that. And it's not me being what is it, like judging or anything like that. I think it's one of those one-on-one type things, like um, cleanliness 101, to wash your hands after you use the restroom. I think that's one of those things. And to this day, you still, I've gone into restrooms and I see someone come out the bathroom stall and just walk right out. I'm like, where are you going? You're missing a step. You know what I mean? So just things like that. Sometimes it's like, wow, people they do still do that. So they may call me germaphobe, but I a lot of times I just do the elbow. When I'm at work, especially with, I'm like, I know about you. So I'm just go like that.
Well, that's good. I mean, when it comes to making these decisions, that's a good decision that you made because you're not thinking about what a person gonna think about you because you're doing this. Some people say, "Well, no, I don't want to seem like I'm not." I did that once myself. I
Hmm.
was rehearsing, and we were playing our tunes, and it was one of the band members actually was sick, and I was like, he was across the room, and I know that, I mean, it's in the air. And instead of me, he said, "Hey man, what's going on?" "No, I'm sick. I'm sick." And then it's like, yeah, he was sick, but he was playing. And now instead of me saying, "I'm gonna sit this one out," I was in his house. We were rehearsing in this guy's house, and he was real sick. Boy, I instead of me saying, "No, guys, I know that this is going to be a little awkward, but I'm sensitive to colds or I'm sensitive to illness. I'm out of here." Instead, I stayed, and believe me, before 24 hours were up, I was so sick. It was, oh, I was miserable. Uh,
Hmm.
but fortunately, I took care of myself and I was out of that. But I didn't even play in the band anymore after that. I was,
Right.
and I was on my way out anyway. But anyway, that's another story. I can't believe some of the stuff I say sometimes. I'm like, did I just say that? But anyway, hey, life is beautiful. It was another thing that what were you were talking about, the how people will just touch the bathroom, the faucet, and they'll touch the counter. I don't ever touch the counter ever.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like I'm fighting with somebody, when I'm using elbows and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and then, like I put my hands in my shirt, and as I push out, the door in those public bathrooms, It's a lot of times people just can't see it. But if you were to put situated where you could see that, you probably like, I'm going to urinate by the tree.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'll get with you later. But it is important to wash your hands. So keep that up. Bring it back where you wash your hands. Keep in mind too that you don't want to be too extreme because you would take a lot of excitement away from your outings. You got to get, like sometimes, especially for those of us that go camping, there's a lot of things that you do in the rustic sense that, it ain't going to be all cute. So I'll just leave that right there. But
Right.
still have fun. You got to just remember, don't be too extreme. Oh, he said, don't use soap. It's craziness. I remember a
Mm.
patient would not wash her body up because she said that soap. She had somebody said on TV that soap will add more bacteria to your body, the surface to your skin. So with those kinds of things, like when you don't know that there's good bacteria, bad bacteria, when you don't know that this is how you wash up properly, when there's a difference between tallow and glycerin soap. I mean, there's a lot of things that are small, it seems, but they're huge when you don't know them. They're huge when you don't use those particular um, instructions,
Hmm.
and it can be very, very hurtful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Dr. Zari.
Sure. Your Shanizi just said what? I just saw something.
Oh, it says just be cautious.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Balance is everything, everybody. I mean, you can get a person that in anything I can think about. I don't care how good you eating, you can be too much. I mean, and people don't even want to be around people like that. It's like, I ain't eating nothing that's yellow. It's like what? You know,
Yellow is good. That's good.
yeah, it's like that kind of stuff. No, anything to solve. How long have all of these extremes, and that's why I talked about mucus earlier because some people actually feel that if you rid your body of mucus, your body is healthier.
Mm.
But again, not bringing it back up all the way, but just keep in mind some of the things I said. All right, let's go to the next thing.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. All right. Now, next, I'm wondering just what do you know about when you hear airborne and when you hear foodborne? While the American food supply is among the safest in the world, I'll say it again, the American food supply is among the safest in the world. And don't pay attention to these clowns we got out here now. But I don't want to get political, but it is definitely some straight out, what, in the White House. And you have to take control and you have to manage your own health. Don't rely on the federal government because that the federal government, the government that we have over there in the White House, is not, from what I see and what I've seen, they're not about your better health, about our better health. Okay. Yeah, I said it. So here we go. I want you to look at some of when we're talking about the types of airborne and foodborne, we're talking about like Listeria, E. coli, Campylobacter, Salmonella, Streptococcus, Shigella, uh, Ciguatera, and botulism. All of these you will find these on your in the kitchen. You'll find them in the bathrooms. You'll find them if you like going out. You have to be extra careful. So again, while these American foods, remember that we have some of the safest ways to take care of food and by what degrees, how much they should be chilled, put in refrigeration, how long they should be out, so on and so forth. Okay. By the again, the federal government estimates that there are about 48 million cases of foodborne illnesses annually, the equivalent of sickening 1 in 6 Americans each year. 1 in 6 Americans. We got about 100 and what 138, about 140. Oh, I'm sorry, about for the entire country it's about 358,000, 358 million people now. It's a lot of folks. But make sure that each year that that these illnesses, they are a result in an estimated 120,000 hospitalizations, and they also result in over 3,000 deaths every year. And this is like foodborne. This is when you're going out to the restaurants and you just, because it smells good and you got your friends with you and stuff, I would say don't do it frequently. This is time that you, of course, they making money from you, so they want to, they'll say, yeah, let's do this every day. And some people do go out every day. Some people have been doing it for years and didn't get sick once. So I'm just saying, don't be too extreme, because what I'm saying is that you may be that person that increase your risk for sickness and disease. As we continue to talk about this, I want to also share with you that some of the foods that are likely to be airborne would be your shellfish, such as shrimp and crab and lobster, fish, period, raw meat, eggs, milk, peanuts. Although peanuts, just the particles in the air can potentially cause an allergic reaction. Research suggests this happens only when the peanuts are being shelled, stepped on, or otherwise handled. So it's like not when you just looking at peanut butter, or you got some peanuts in your hand and somebody's eating them, and it becomes airborne. So don't go crazy with it. Again, remember balance. So what are some of the risks of the airborne food allergies? Anyone with a food allergy could react to an airborne allergen, but a couple of factors that you should know is to make the allergic reaction significantly more likely. Okay. For example, like if people living with asthma or other respiratory conditions, they may be more sensitive to airborne allergens and develop more severe symptoms. Okay. Now, a person's physical location can also make a difference. Being around airborne food allergens uh, happens more often in places like the factories where certain foods are processed. However, exposure can also happen in everyday locations where there's a lot of allergen in the air. And this includes, again, like your home, schools, restaurants, stores, and airplanes. And the restaurants are really, but some are very nicely kept, but I'm talking about also things that you can't see. If somebody gives you a plate and you look at the fork and you say, can you give me another fork, please? This seems like it's not clean. I don't like to send anything back. Not that I won't, but it's so many interesting brains today that would be that would do something that unheard of something, and then you like, is it, you're dealing with some nut. Anyway, it's really important for you to know what's happening in that restaurant. In the fast food restaurants, you have younger people. Today, people need to work, so you have older people that work like at a McDonald's and Checkerboard and In and Out and all those other places that serve these sandwiches and fast foods. But keep in mind that the younger people are going to have, or there's going to be a greater chance that these people, even, they might start off washing their hands and singing happy birthday, and then, drying off with the blower. But after they get laxed and get used to it, they go down to the old two finger special where they just hands go through the water, two fingers on each hand, the middle finger and the pointing finger, and then that's pretty much it. And then maybe just wiping on an apron or just fanning the hands. So just be aware. Be aware at your house. You know what you're doing in your home. Some people talking. When I see people preparing food and they're talking all over the food, turns me off. I don't want their aerosol. Even if I had, if I was my family members, and family, we all family, we all close, but family members don't even want that. It's like, hey, shh, let me mix. I won't talk. That kind of, nobody wants that. Okay, we almost there. There are some symptoms of airborne foods too, so you will know. Like the symptoms of airborne food, for instance, exposure can vary widely from person to person, but they're almost always mild. A few instances for severe allergic reactions have been reported. However, this severity of these severe allergic reactions, it's important to know that the range of the symptoms of the allergic reaction. So we start off like with mild symptoms, and that would be itchy eyes and throat, sneezing or a runny nose, coughing or mild wheezing, uh, that kind of thing, rash or hives, conjunctivitis, which is itchy red eyes, and then there's the moderate symptoms, and that's the shortness of breath and difficulty breathing. That is scary as it's very scary. So make sure that you want to avoid this and follow these recommendations, because I'm telling you, until you know how it feels if somebody put their hand over your mouth, or if somebody take a pillow and put it over your face, you want air as soon as possible. So the shortness of breath and breathing difficulty is scary. So you don't want to go through that. The tightness in your chest, that's another thing that you don't want any of these things, and wheezing and persistent coughing. Now, when it comes to some of the severe symptoms like anaphylactic or anaphylaxis, and this is which usually it involves the multiple symptoms at once, like severe shortness of breath or troubling breathing, swelling of your face, your lips, your tongue, and your throat, rapid drop of blood pressure like hypoglycemia, and then we have dizziness or fainting, severe hives or rash, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Anaphylaxis is the life threatening reaction that requires immediate medical attention. Now, if you or someone else is experiencing symptoms of anaphylaxis, use the epinephrine auto injector, and most people have epinephrine or um, ejector, and if available, that's what you use. And seek emergency help, because the time is ticking away when you have that kind of reaction in your body and you don't have anything to help you fight it. So there you have it, everyone. Now that you know that you could be sick, but how would you know? Now you do. So let's do something about it. Back to care. It's okay.
All right, there it is.
Hmm.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. Great information as always. Hello, Yolanda. Good morning. Blessings, Big Mama, Dearborn, Michigan. Thank you so much for
Yay.
joining us. We appreciate it. Just yeah, always great information. Dr. Zarif, when it comes when you always say there's never a convenient time to be sick.
Right.
I think that's something you should put on a shirt. I'm just saying. But
On his way.
yes. So but yes, great information. Wash your hands. I think the things, again, like we've said before, if we're talking about the things that you can prevent, right? That
Yeah.
you have control over. That would be washing your hands, just the common everyday things. What are your thoughts on vitamin C, um like during this season, vitamin C?
And vitamin C actually is more of an augmenter. So, like if you're taking, for instance, golden seal root, and you take the vitamin C with it, it makes it more powerful. So it strengthens it, so to speak. So, but vitamin C just by itself, it needs to be, it needs to. Need to collaborate, need to bring these things together because they work well together. So,
Okay.
and high amounts of vitamin C are known not to be dangerous. Some people just overdo everything.
Mm,
They're extremists. But I would say, like in anything else, take a small amount of vitamin C. Don't go straight up to 1,000 milligrams. Take a small amount, like maybe a 500 milligrams or even less, and then mix that with maybe a drink. Like if you're juicing, you can take that supplement and drink behind it. Some people actually take just your citrus, your lemon, your
mhm.
lime, tangerine, all of that's vitamin C, or also called ascorbic acid. And this will help you have more protection against cold and flu.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. There you go. There you have it. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that joined us here in the Mind of Nature. Please go ahead and, if you did not already, share the live, you can always share it even after we have closed the live down. You can always share it with someone. We just like to get the message out there, just to help each other, and to help us grow on this channel as well. Dr. Zarif is, as you can see, anyone that comes here, he's just knowledgeable, like I can't explain it. It's like words, like, come on, Carolyn, with the words. But we see the knowledge that that's here in this room or in on this channel. So just make sure to share the information with others so they can be a part of it, so they can learn who Dr. Zarif is. We have a new year coming up soon. It'll be 2026. We are looking to do big things in that year, and we can only do that with your help. Those that are watching the live stream and sharing it out, telling others about it. So that's my part. We stream every Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific time. So thank you again for everyone that came in and liked and shared and just was a part of the conversation. We really do and truly appreciate it. Dr. Zarif, back to you.
Thank you very much, Kara. We really want to thank you again. Do your homework, everybody. Let's put these things in action, okay? We'll be back next week. We're getting right up on these holidays now. This is so good. You're getting going into the holiday. At least you're thinking more helpfully. And again, remember, if you can't stop eating all that you're eating, like those large plates, start working on reducing the portions, reduce the portions. And here's your homework: eat less sugar. Okay, until next time, I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist.